Hello everyone, welcome back to another video in the Python tutorial series. In this video we're going to be learning about variables and data types. In this video we will learn what are variables, what are data types and how to define variables in Python. So let's go. So what are variables? Well, variables are a named storage location, okay? So variables are named storage location. Think of it like a box, right? A box which can store anything. So it's like a box. You can store anything. You can store a number, or you can store a letter. Think of it like you name the. Think of it like you wanna save your favorite chocolate, right? So what do? Well, you get this box, right? And then you say, okay, so let me just name that my favorite chocolate, Choco. Okay, it's gonna be a chocolate, and it's gonna be a chocolate named Bueno in real life, if you know that chocolate. That's my favorite one. So yeah, you take that and you basically just store it in the box, and then you give the box a name. For example, Choco, for example, here. So yeah, it's like that. Think of it like that, okay? It would really help you. So, and these, whatever we save inside the thing, these are called data types, okay? Data types include a string, which is words, letters. Remember last time we wrote the print statement and it had two D's, and that we said was inside the string where we wrote hello world. So that was a string, but it wasn't stored in a I'll say it's a string, so it wasn't stored in a variable. So yeah, but it's a data type. So strings are words, letters, sentences, etc. Then we have integers, or short form int. They are basically a whole numbers. For example, 9, 10, or 1, and many more. Floats or views, these are decimal numbers. So they're basically like 9.1, or maybe pi is 3.14, is stuff like that, okay? And a char is a character, but you never really use this, but always remember there is a data type. You use it sometimes. How do we define variables? But before we learn how to define variables, I'm gonna be basically taking you guys to the development environment that we set up, and I'm gonna be showing you and giving you examples of the data types. So let's go. I'll meet you there. So the last time we left it off here. So now, also one more thing. If you use like this hashtag, it's a comment. So it's a comment. The code doesn't read this. Okay. So we can say comment. This is a string. Okay. This is an integer. So how do we put an integer? Well, we just gotta take. You may be like, oh, we can basically put the quotes and say 1, and would that work? Let's see if that would work. So Python, let's go Python tutorial py. If you don't know how we do this, then go and watch that video. But you will not actually, if you like this, people will think you're dumb, and you know, because this also counts as a string. So to say a number, an integer, you need to say, and also you see the highlighted word int is a data type, right? So you get int is the data type, or into the data type. So yeah, into the data type, and if you type I, it does show over here it's a data type. But yeah. Now if you do that and we do the same thing over here, we do this Python tutorial Yeah, you see it says hello world and 1. For now we're gonna comment this out. So how do you comment is control slash it, control slash, and it will auto comment out, so I can take this bunch of code and control slash it, comment out, and then control slash it again, and then non-comment out. So like this, control slash, control slash. So anyway, now how do we pronounce a character? Well, a character we never use, so we will never use it. A view would be like, it's like a string as well. Like let's say 1.38, we're gonna say Python tutorial.py, and you see we get this real number. So that is a real number, and or floats, if you say so. You could say this is the float, and then we could say it's a comment, and then we could say, oh, this one is a string. Okay, so yeah, these are some examples on how you would use it, but I'm also going to be explaining you why you should use variables and why everyone uses variables. Because I mean, you go into any programmer's office, anything, you see any code, everyone uses variables. So I think variables are really important. Everyone thinks it. So yeah, I see you guys back in the PowerPoint presentation. The question is, how do you define variables? Well, in Python, okay, so Python is a dynamically typed language, which means you don't have to specify the data type. Instead, you just type the name of the variable, and this is the name of the variable, and this is the value, right? So in some languages like Java, you have to say public. You shouldn't really worry about this, because Java is a full object-oriented language and Python isn't fully object-oriented, so you don't need to worry about this public. But to define variables, you have to say public and then int or private int. Int is the data type, and then you write the name of the variable and then equals the value, right? That is how you would do it in Java. But in Python, you just write the name and the value. Because then what Python does is, it probably is something like this. So you write Python, right? You make a variable. Then it actually goes to the language. So the language compiler, right? The language compiler or executor, I don't know what exactly called, but what it will do is it will be like, oh, I see variables, right? I see variables. V is variables. Okay, I see variables, and let's look what they equals to. Okay, it equals to it's a number. The value is a number. It's not a decimal, so it's an int. So the language looks itself and compiles the language itself. Int. So you don't really need to write int in front of it to say, oh, this is the int variable. The language itself just takes the name of the variable and the value and just converts it into the data type and stores it. And this one is a string and it's the same thing. So yeah, this is how you define variables in Python, and it's really easy, and we're going to be working with some variables right now, so I'll see you in the development environment. How would we do this statement and this statement in variables and int as well? So as I said, the language looks at itself, so you don't need to say if it's a int, a string, or a char, or a float, or a float is also an actual word in the thing, but an int as well, string as well, str is the actual word in Python, but you don't use it. So so we're gonna be making these variables, right? So let's say a string variable. We're gonna say call this variable one, var1, and it's gonna be a string. So we're gonna say, well, this is the let's say hello world, and once we save it, it should work, and we have a variable. So how do we access it in the print statement is basically the language is Python is a case sensitive language, so whatever you keep here, you have to type exactly the same var1. So right, if we use this, okay, let's see if this works. Tutorial.py. It says hello world. If I misspell it, if I misspell it, like, or capital it, it's gonna be something like this. It's gonna be something like this. It's gonna give us an error. It's gonna say name var1 is not defined, which means like there's no variable defined as var1, and this really useful information. It says on the line 6, so we could go line 6, and we could do this var1. Okay, the same we could do with var2. We could say this equals 1, then we could say print var2. Then we could say var3 equals 1.38. We could say print var3, and yeah, this is gonna work. Okay, so Python tutorial by, and it should say hello world 1 and 138. So that's the basic knowledge of variables. Oh, now on this slide, this explains you a bit more detail on how it works. So we have a print function which is for like how do you access it. So it's like this is main function with the parentheses, and then we have this variable 1. Inside the function you can access the variable by saying its name, and it's case sensitive. So yeah, and there's just a few more things I would like to go through with you guys on this thing. So I will just quickly talk about constants. So talk about constants. So I'm going to talk about constants with you guys. So constants, if you don't know what constants are, basically they are stuff like they are basically variables that never change. So for example, in future, if you use the for loop and you had a variable inside it, say I in the range of whatever the number you have, a range of 1 to 11, and then you say okay, whenever, if it's so you're gonna learn all of this later, guys, but don't worry. If I is less than 2, for example, and then add I, so I plus 1. You see here the variable changes, right? The variable changes. So that's not a constant. A constant variable is basically a variable that never changes. So it never, make notes with me, never changes, right? It never changes. Never changes. In Python, we don't really have a way, like, if you know how to code in JavaScript, even though you could say const and the variable, and this means constant in JavaScript. But in Python, you don't have like that. So which means Python doesn't really have a constant, because in JavaScript, if you change it again, it would give you an error. But in Python, there is nothing like that. So it's really hard. So constants, all you have to do to keep a variable constant is make sure it never changes. And constant variables include, like, you should keep your list constant, which you're gonna learn in later video about lists, and you should keep your dictionaries constant. So you should keep your dictionaries constant. Guys, thanks for watching this video, and if you have any problems and any like if you need any help, you can comment below. So you can comment below, or you could email us at AcademicMonks at gmail.com. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.